Hello, my name is Caroline Kennedy. I'm the Head of Careers in National College of Ireland. And in this short video, I want to talk about presenting gaps on your CV. So as we progress through our careers, it's unlikely that most of us won't have some kind of a short gap or a gap of some length of time on our CV. But recruiters do tend to like to see, I suppose, a timeline of events on your CV. So ideally, you would explain a gap where one appears. And I'm just going to talk through some examples of how you might do that. So it might be, for example, you were caring for a sick family member, in which case I would suggest you put in the dates and just put caring as your kind of job title, and then just explain that you took 9 months or whatever time it was to care for a family member. And it's nice that they're not left with any questions on your CV. So you might say, who's now fully recovered. Or it might be that you took some time to travelling, and rather than leaving a year's gap on your CV without explaining it, you might say, look, September 24 to September 25, I was travelling and I took a year to travel around South America. And that's really all the information you need to give there. For other people who maybe have small gaps throughout their CV while they were looking for work in between jobs, it might be that in that situation, what some people do is they put the years they were working somewhere rather than the dates and the year. Now, some recruiters really don't like that and they like to see a timeline. But for some people, that works for them and that's how they like to present it. And then for others, maybe who've taken quite a big, a chunk of time off, I'll give you an example of someone we worked with recently who had taken a kind of a 2.5 year career break to look after their family. And now we're looking to get back into the workforce. And so they used the 2 year gap there to do lots of different things while they were caring for their family. They were also managing a team in Crokes. They were on the Parents Association for the local school. So we gave some insights there into kind of the size and scale of the voluntary work they were doing while they were off, because that showed extra skills in that area. So there's lots of different ways you can address a gap on your CV. It might be that you decide not to address it, but I suppose good practice would be that you'd just spend 1 or 2 lines explaining what the gap was for. Now, if it's 15 years ago and it was a 2-month gap, there's probably no need. But say it's quite recent, it's likely that a recruiter might want to know what you were up to. And rather than causing a question on your CV that means that you don't get called to interview, it might be easier just to give a 1 line explaining what you were doing during that time.